everybody. Welcome back. Scott Heaton here, your host, and we are here with Mei Huang with Vibrant Life Therapy. And today she's going to kind of chat with us about something that I've not heard of, and that's trauma. And apparently there's a big T and a little T when it comes to trauma. Share with us what that is.
Right. I think whenever people think about trauma, they always think about like this huge, like life-altering events, like violence, like losing someone to death or anything like that. But you know, and also like abuse is very common as well. And all those things definitely leave like a huge impact on people. And I think like people probably heard of PTSD a lot, and people probably use the word a lot, like and people also use it for smaller things as well. I think like you can hear like in sentences, people will be saying like, "I'll have PTSD for a certain thing or certain experiences." Yeah, so that leads us to the small T trauma. It can be a small traumatic event. Like it may not have an enduring effect, but kind of sometimes it leaves people with like sort of phobia. So small T trauma can be like moving to a new place when you were young, changing to a new different school, maybe like feeling lonely at school, or maybe sometimes like it may be like finding out Santa Claus is not real. That could be a small T trauma too. Okay, so
kids might be watching this.
Yeah. So yeah, and I guess to some people that would be a big T trauma too.
Right.
Yeah. So just like a lot, like along the line, like people often like brush off like the effect of small T trauma, and I think like what really makes trauma become a trauma is how you process it, or how much support that you have after that traumatic event. Because some people can like bounce back like very quickly, and then like usually there's no enduring symptoms or effect after that. But if the person doesn't have much support, don't have anyone to tell them you're safe now, it's okay, that things are over now, then trauma can continue to have effect on the person.
Okay. So what's big T trauma?
Yeah. So I think I would say like those big things that childhood abuse that people go through, and like domestic violence, seeing someone killed in front of you, like, and I guess like with people in the military or first responders, like they can go through like very terrible, I guess, trauma.
Yeah. So, they're exposed to a lot of heavy, traumatic things. Yeah. Quick question for you. Excuse me. Can small T trauma turn into big T trauma if it's like not addressed? Or
I think so. Like it really depends. Like, so our brain is very like, we have this like neuroplasticity. Our brain is very flexible. It's usually bounce back pretty quick. I like to think about it as like a elastic band. Like usually like you can tighten it, loosen it like very easily. But when people who go through trauma, I like to think about it as like they have cuts on their elastic band. So it's not necessarily broken, but if you do tighten it up, like it can snap pretty easily. So kind of just really depends on like the whole support system, and if there's any other stressor in this person's life that they cannot deal with. So that really affects on people's capacity on handling the trauma.
How would one go about identifying if what they're experiencing, feeling, is trauma?
Yeah. So I think like phobia is probably a very obvious one. So like if people has drowned while they were younger, like they have fear of water, they cannot go take like any swim lessons, things like that. So if you have certain things that you always try to avoid, you may not even remember the reason why, and that's a place to start looking at.
Okay. So for someone watching or listening that has had some kind of some kind of trauma and it's impacting their life adversely, at what point would you recommend them reaching out to a therapist to get some kind of help?
Yeah.
In fact, let me rephrase that. When is a better time for them to reach out to a therapist to start the healing process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think with any mental health issues, like usually the rule of thumb is to, like, if it affects your day-to-day function. So if you feel like you cannot sleep at night, you don't enjoy the things that you used to enjoy, you're having trouble, I guess, concentrating at work, or like you're having trouble completing the day-to-day tasks, and or maybe like in your social life, like you also struggle, you have some struggles there. I think those are all pretty good indicators of, like, maybe it's time to seek therapy.
Okay. Well, for those watching, if what you said sounds familiar and you might be wondering, geez, maybe I have some trauma, how would people go about getting a hold of you and maybe having just a quick conversation with you to see if maybe meeting with you might be a good option for them?
Yeah. So again, my name is Mei Huang. I'm with Vibrant Life Therapy. If you search Vibrant Life Therapy, you can find our website, and you can also find me on Psychology Today.
Okay. Good stuff. I love this. I love this topic. I appreciate you sharing with us. Hopefully you learned something. And again, if what she shared with you today is something that might sound familiar, highly recommend reaching out to me. Incredibly great, awesome. And so is the staff over at Vibrant Life Therapy. So reach out to her. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.